All right, so I'm going to lean down to start this off. We're going to make ourselves a brisket. I'm going to go ahead and use garlic junky. It's typically used on pork and so on, but I like garlic. So does my family. So we're going to give it a shot. We're going to use some of this, I don't even know the name of it, Q glue. And that there's going to be my medium to help everything stick. So just getting ready to marinate it for overnight basically. I'll get up early tomorrow and unwrap it and get it on the on the Traeger. So first thing I'm going to do though, before I do all this, I'm going to make sure I get some of this fat layer off. I'm going to get out of your picture now so you can actually see what's going on. But you can see where this is skin here, and then you got a big old layer of fat. Just want to cut down that fat a bit so you don't have big old chunks, and there's still quite a bit more in there. But I'm going to go ahead and carve this somewhat strategically and do my best to just make sure I'm not eating a big old mouthful of fat. Now when you're cooking this too, if you have that much fat on there, it's going to make it a lot harder to get through its cook cycle. And we all know with brisket, it does have that stall period. So if you have a little bit of this taken off, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean, that's hard for heat to penetrate. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, and then I'll get back to you here once I have the fat kind of taken off the way I want it. All right, so don't mind a little bit of fat, but this one here had lots of chunks, as you can see. So if you trim that off, trust me, you're going to have a much better finished product when this is all over. So now we're going to go ahead and put on some of this Q glue. I'm going to actually get my gloves out, which I should have had in the first place. All right, I got my gloves out here. This is a vinyl glove, so don't really have to worry about latex type gloves that have the powder in there and so on. So this is just supposed to be a barrier. So we're just going to pour some of this on here. Rub it in nice. From my experience, you don't really taste this stuff in there. It's kind of a mustard smell right now. But I'm basically rubbing this all over the place. There we go. Nice and even, the best I can. And then we're gonna pour some of this on here. I might have to go to the quick pour, but this is your garlic junky. Again, I've had it on pork a couple times, had it on burgers, steak. I like it. Now it moves around pretty good, which is also a good thing. Put a little bit in my hand for the sides here. And I like a little bit of crust, so this is going to form that crust once it's done cooking. I mean, just delicious. Put that little piece over there. And depending on when you're watching this video, we're in the coronavirus lockdown right now, so I mean, I'm not sick, no one in my family is here at the house, so we're just going to have a good time with food, enjoy it, and once we're back to work, we're back to work. Now on this fat part here, you can kind of see it's a little squishy now, before, when you pushed it, it was hard. I mean, you didn't see much bend. You might see the bend over like in the meat area, but this you couldn't feel. Like right here might be a little bit of a patch I could get, which I'm going to go ahead and do. There we go. So a little more in there. That's better. But yes, we're going to go ahead and put more of the mustard on here. I'm going to pour a little less on this side because I still have quite a bit. I don't have to cover all the sides this time. There we go. And I'd be curious to know, I mean, if you're a barbecuer yourself, you know, if you leave a comment, let me know what kind of seasoning to put on yours. I've had success with this one here. Did more of a smoky flavor one before. It was a local place that I got it from at the Savory Spices. Then we did a coffee blend as well. And the coffee blend was interesting. Different than I expected, but I mean, you really couldn't taste much coffee, of course. Seems like it all burns off. There we go. Help on those crusty edges there. And you can see me working this quite a bit. I want to make sure I got seasoning everywhere. The reason I want it to be everywhere is so, I mean, you can taste it any bite you take. So, you know, especially on the edges here, I'm one of the fans of getting the first bite. And if I can do that and I have the nice crunchy outside, which I prefer, then you know, that's my deal. There we go. And this here we might share with some friends. You know, everyone's in a kind of a weird state at the moment. Me, I'm just enjoying my vacation. So hopefully you are too. But the past some time, man, we've been having that Traeger busy. You know, I'll throw a link here or there within the video here to let you see some Traeger chocolate chip cookies. Done some filet mignons. We've been processing, you know, our own meat, and we did sausage one day. Ended up making some, you know, nice breakfast burritos. Did carnitas another day. So, you know, we've definitely taken advantage of this time. There we go. There's always a few pockets, so we'll try to get as much of this little stuff in these little slivers of skin. There we go. Now that is a good looking piece of meat. Yeah, if you're a fan too of garlic, give this a shot. I'll put it like a link down in the description. Nothing too fancy. It'll probably take you to Amazon or something like that. But you know, any proceeds will go to be buying more meat and more stuff for doing more of these videos. So I appreciate it if you do click there and choose to get something. All right. So from here. We did get a huge bag the other day. This one here is a little bit larger than the last couple I've done. And I know there's, you know, the huge ones where they lay on top of each other. You get the burnt ends and so on. This one here is just, you know, a large piece with that part basically cut out. They missed a little bit on this side here, which is why you have a bit of a flap. But, you know, it's still going to be delicious. So I'm going to get this in a bag or give it a shot right now. First thing I'm noticing is, you know, how large that is compared to, you know, how large the actual piece of meat is here. So putting this over here because I'm going to grill that up. Got the Traeger working right now for some pork loin. So that thing seems to never be off since I've been home for a few days. There we go. All right. See if there's enough room to slide in there.
You need some help?
Yeah. You want to hold on to this, and I'll like try to pull it in. You got it. You guys can't see my wife, but she's helping me out now. Don't want to pull off any of that deliciousness on the side, so we're inching this in here. All right, you can pull that. So it barely fit. So from here, obviously, you're going to go ahead and zip it up. There we go. Before I get it all the way closed, I'll try to get most of the moisture out. It's going to be kind of tough with this weird shape, but I'm happy with that. It's basically just going to marinate overnight. And you got a hefty bag. I'm an old dude, so I remember hefty commercials. They were always good. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and let this marinate. We'll get back to you in the morning, bright and early, and I'll show you what we do from there. Thanks for watching so far. Well, good morning. It's early, about 5 o'clock where I'm at. We're going to go ahead and get this awesome piece of meat out on the Traeger. Got it warming up right now to basically just get it started to smoke. Then we'll take it to the next level and we'll set it at 225 and just forget about it. So I'm going to pull this out here. Nice. Everything kind of adhered to this too. There's nothing that rubbed off when I took the bag out. There we go. And if you look real close, give you my view here, everything kind of caramelized on here. There might be a couple spots here and there, but when you're cutting it in those strips, well, probably cutting it in those strips because you can see the line here, or cutting it like so, this is gonna leave a nice crust on there, and that'll be delicious. So we got the Traeger warming up. I'm gonna go ahead and put in a meter thermometer as well. It's something that I use pretty much on everything that I cook, so I'll show you guys real quickly how to do that. If you got one of these, know how to do it, just fast forward to the next step. But I'm going to turn on the block here. I prefer the block, setting it on what they call a Wi-Fi mode. Put that little dot in the middle there will give me the OK. And then it's going to connect to all the spears that I got. So since it is connected, every one of these is numbered. There you go. It is numbered on the bottom. This one 2, 3, 4 obviously. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to see the tallest middle part here. So probably about here is where I want it to end up. So we're going to probably move my puncture spot over to about here, because you only need about so much in there, and there is a little indicator mark on your device too. There we go. Alright, and another cool thing is, what, maybe a couple inches thick or so, maybe a little less, but the way I'd look at it is, if this is about an inch or so, that means this is in there about an inch or so. So if I wanted to change it, I could pull it and then re-enter it and kind of have a higher angle over here. But from what I'm looking at, that should be about center of the thickness of the meat. So I'm going to connect it to my phone, so when I wake up this morning I can kind of see how everything's going.
I got the meter app that I'll end up using, and I'm actually gonna record this for you guys. So when I'm setting this up, I'm going to choose what I'm cooking on sphere 1, start the setup. We are going to be doing beef today, and we got ourselves a nice roast, and it's going to be a brisket. The first step we're going to do is set this at 160 because I like to wrap them. I guess I could use the toggle, either way. So I'm going to go ahead and go down there to 160. It is a beef brisket, so I'm going to come back to this here in just a moment once I have my Traeger warmed up to the 225. So we'll see in a few minutes. Alright, so the Traeger's hit just over 200. I know it's going to get to 225 fairly quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and start my cook time. We got everything inserted, so we're going to start it. It warns me if my sound's muted, so that little lever on your phone or iPad or tablet that you need to turn on to make sure you get notifications on messages. This thing will actually beep at you once it's 5 minutes to getting to the target temperature that you want. What is nice too, it tells you what the internal temperature is, obviously, what your target is in the blue, and then that ambient temperature. That's going to be what's the what the top part here is reading inside of the Traeger. So we're going to get this outside so we can start cooking. Alright, sitting at 220. If you haven't done so already, just give it a quick rub down. There we go. That'll get some of the previous cooks off. It's nice to kind of mix those flavors every once in a while. Here we go. I prefer to just take the cookie sheet and just kind of shimmy it on. We're going to see this in another 4 hours.
So we got the brisket just about ready to come off of the barbeque. I went ahead and laid out my heavy duty Reynolds wrap with the aluminum foil. What I did to prepare this, because this brisket is pretty large, is I went ahead, took 2 pieces, kind of made a ridge on one, another ridge on the other, and I put them together. Then from there I folded one down about halfway or so to where the fold line was. And then I folded over one more time. Now the goal is this will help keep the broth we're going to put in there. You got a decent seam too. And just one of the tricks I picked up with a few of the YouTube videos I've been watching. So great ideas you can find out there. So this one's ready for that larger piece I got cooking up right now. We're going to go ahead and go out, take a look at it, bring it in, lay it out, and then we're going to end up putting about ½ cup of beef broth, maybe a little bit more, just depending on how it all kind of looks once I get it in there. So let's go take a look. So we got the internal temperature reading about 155. I was wanting to get to 160, 150, somewhere in that range. There we go. Bring this, just slide it on here. Excellent. Let's go ahead and bring this inside and we'll bring it back out and put it back on for another 4 hours or so. Alright, with his back inside, we're just going to slide this on. There we go. Try to place it in the center the best you can.
That's a lot of oil.
Yep. And so this here, we're just going to go ahead and wrap it first. When it comes to this little piece right here, where the stinger's up, I'm going to try not to tear it too badly, but more than likely, I'm going to have to mend that as well. So that's not too bad. And on this side, we're going to wrap around as well. You want to make it kind of as tight as you can. There we go. Not too shabby. You can kind of wrap around that spot I got the stinger on. This side here we're going to crinkle up. Perfect. On this side we're going to lift up a little bit like this. And again we're going to put about half a cup or so in for the beef broth. There we go. Half a cup isn't much. So with the size of this, I might increase that a little bit. Forgot to give it a shake. So we'll shake that beef broth up. There we go. There we go, that's looking better. So we got our 4 ounces or so right there. Yeah, a little more. It's all good. Pour it in. All this is going to settle along that bottom layer. It's going to taste delicious. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. Kind of crinkle that up. Perfect. All right, and this piece that I made earlier, I'm going to use that to seal that spot just a little bit more. All right. I know it's a large piece just to kind of lay on top, but it serves my purpose right now. Let's go ahead and put this back on the tray. Excellent. And then let's take it back outside. So just going to slide it right back on where we got it from. Perfect. Close that down and we're just going to let it cook for another 3 or 4 hours. So the internal temp is about 204 is the goal. Alright, we got the meat ready to go. It's just about 200 degrees. 204 is always the main goal, but we're going to pull this on over. There we go. Turn this off. We're going to wrap this up. Sprung myself a little leak there. So my dogs are getting some nice, yummy food. But when you wrap it up, just find yourself a nice old igloo to put everything in. I'm going to go ahead and drop mine in now. That's it. We're going to let it rest there for about 30 minutes and then take it out to cut it up and eat it up. All right, it's ready to roll. Let's pull this out. Oh, yeah. so you can see what I'm seeing. Boom. Still steaming a little bit.
A little bit.
So when you cut this, you want to make sure you go where the grain is running this way, and you're cutting the corner off over here. So with it being covered up, I don't think you can see it. But let's go ahead and get a few cuts off here. Got a great smoke ring. Oh yeah. All right, girls, you want to give it a shot? And just to make sure you can see, that is a serious smoke ring right there. That one's pretty warm too. Gotta see if it passes the bend test. Yep. Pull test. It's pretty warm. You want to try it though? Got my daughter's right here. Here, I'll pull it. Yep. Perfect. All right. Choose your poison. I'm going with this one. There's a little extra garlic on it.
Can I just take that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. What do you girls think? Good. Got 2 thumbs up.
3.
3 thumbs up. Highly accept. Highly suggest using that garlic junky. Oh wow, it was really good. Even that little piece of fat on the bottom is awesome too. So get some today. I'll put a link at the bottom of the video so you can see what it is, where to go.
Did you get your corky?
We got 3 different kinds, so go ahead and take a look and kind of pick the one that works best for you. All right, we got to eat. Have a good day.